For the entire year of 2023, I decided to keep track of a bunch of random stats throughout my life, and it all started right here.
January has been completed. February is complete.
March and April are complete. Look at how high the river is. It's all the way up to the trees. It's supposed to be back in there, and we up here.
May, June,
July.
I think you get the point.
So, let's begin.
For the entire year of 2023, I ate 1,252 chicken nuggets. I'm not talking about the tenders, and I'm also not including popcorn chicken. I'm talking absolutely pure chicken nuggets. And then I had to poop 341 times. See, look, I even marked some of them down on poop maps. 3 stars, not gonna lie, this one kind of hurt. I am fighting for my life right now.
Pipi und Kaki im Pipi-Kakaland.
This one's just solid, no. Liquid, yes. Gas, yes. This one just says why. Why? Why did I keep track of any of this? Because I also kept track of how many times I peed. But again, why? See, I recently saw the movie Aquaman 2. Honestly, 5 out of 10, movie was mid. However, the movie tried to talk about climate change. Now, I'm not Hollywood, so I don't really have a whole lot of money to make this huge public statement about the whole issue, but what I can do is see just how much one person impacts the earth. So, back to toilet talk. Let's say each time you flush the toilet, it's 1.6 gallons of fresh water that is used. Just from pooping, that would be 545.6 gallons, and peeing would be 2,675.2 gallons. For a combined total of 3,220.8 gallons. All of that fresh water just from flushing the toilet. Why don't we throw in showering too? The average shower uses 2.1 gallons per minute, and the average time for a shower is about 10 minutes, but let's be honest, sometimes I zone out and get lost in the sauce. So just for kicks, let's crank it up to 11 minutes. I took 355 showers in 2023. That's 8,200.1 gallons of water. And now let's throw laundry in there. I did 45 loads of laundry in 2023. On average, an Energy Star washing machine uses about 14 gallons of water per load. So let's just say 15 gallons for some quick maths. That's 675 gallons of water just for laundry. So based off my current habits, I use just over 12,000 gallons of water per year. And that doesn't even take into account other things like washing my hands, cooking or doing the dishes, brushing my teeth, or even drinking it. Let's take a country that I admire, Norway. The average person there uses about 140 to 180 liters of water a day. That's about 37 to about 47.5 gallons of water per day. Without even some of the previous stuff that I just mentioned, I am just shy of the minimum amount consumed in Norway.
That's no good. That's no bueno. We need to change the topic and my habits.
I ate 401 slices of pizza in 2023. Honestly, Papa John's still has to be my favorite pizza. And while we're talking about food, I ate 139 hamburgers. The best burger I ever had? Easy Street in Los Angeles.
Wow.
And since this whole video was built around the whole idea of Spotify Wrapped, you know, the little thing that Spotify does that keeps track of how long you listen to your music throughout the year, your favorite artist, and so on, I'll tell you how long I listened to music this year. 84,035 minutes. That's 58 days. Now, I am very grateful that I got to listen to some music live. I attended 69 different shows and DJ sets in 2023. You ready for the next segue? I spent 3,078 hours and 1 minute staring at screens, and that's just based off my screen time on my iPhone and my laptop. It doesn't take into account TV, movies, classrooms, or anything else. I mean, if you ask me, that's probably a lot of electricity being used just for one person. I don't even know how to measure that for an individual, so I'm just going to base it off of the University of Michigan's research at 12 kilowatt hours per person a day. And I'll round it up to 15 because I know that some of these live productions use a lot of power. That's about 5,475 kilowatt hours per year. Not too bad. I mean, a simple 300 watt solar panel that sees the sun for about 6 hours a day can produce up to 1,800 watt hours or 1.8 kilowatt hours per day. That would be 657 kilowatt hours a year, and that one solar panel will help offset my carbon footprint just by a little bit. But let's be honest, most people don't even own one solar panel, so let's shift gears to something more relatable.
I drive a good old-fashioned gasoline-powered car. 36 miles per gallon on the highway, 28 miles per gallon in the city. That's pretty good, I think.
I filled up 45 times at the gas station in 2023, and I consumed 480.14 gallons of gas.
That's about 11.5 barrels of oil just dedicated to my car for 1 year of driving. Now, if we take that and multiply it by 100,000, because that's how many of these cars were sold in 2015, that's the year of this car, that would be 1,150,000 barrels of oil just dedicated to this make and model for 1 year of driving. Now, obviously, that number is going to be different from person to person, right? Some drive more, some drive less, but regardless, we are still traveling.
And speaking of which, I traveled a total of 20,154.1 miles. Sometimes data is cool, but sometimes data can hurt. Sure, I got to travel a lot, but I only made $22,515.52, and I spent $21,849.09. So how did traveling and money relate to climate change? What are you trying to do here, Brandon? Well, the obvious answer is that the excess amounts of greenhouse gases like CO2 are being emitted into the atmosphere, causing heat to be trapped, and then the earth gets hotter, and then eventually we all cook like the chicken nuggets that I ate this year. But there's another layer to this. The wealthier you are, the less likely you are to care about climate change, and the more likely you are to pollute more than the average person. Let me explain. Let's take Taylor Swift, for example. She has made it very clear in her actions that everything is about her. She was named the top carbon emissions polluter in 2022 by Yard, a sustainability marketing firm. In a matter of 3 months during 2023, she was able to emit 138 tons of CO2 just from her private jet, all because she was dating a football player. Now, comparing that to what I did this year, between my car and the flights I took, I only emitted 5.14 tons of CO2 for the whole year. It would take me almost 27 years to emit the same amount of pollution that Taylor did in those 3 months. I mean, we all live on the same earth, but her net worth is $1 billion. Mine is like negative $25,000. She has private jets. I have student loans. Do you see what I mean now when I say the rich people are a big problem? They do not care about you. They do not care about the earth. So now there's clearly a lot of steps that need to be taken towards a better future. 2,953,866 steps perhaps? And I ended up walking, running, dancing about 1,400 miles.
It's the last day of EDC!
A big whoop, right? I mean, who cares at this point? We're all screwed. Well, I wanted to end on a positive note, and the best part is that this isn't even a sponsored segment. About halfway through the year, I found this app called Tree Card. It's free, and it tracks how many steps you take throughout the day. You get to plant a tree after a certain amount of steps, and those steps go on to help fund real trees. And those trees get planted in the real world, and not to mention you get points and can redeem them for prizes. So it's a win-win for everyone. I've planted 75 trees so far just from walking. And the best part about the app is it tells you about your personal impact on the earth. So to me, that is pretty cool. My car is almost at 100,000 miles, but my trees will have absorbed 187.5 thousand miles worth of CO2. It's as if my car never existed on the earth. I've always wanted to impact the world in a positive way, so I hope that this video makes you think, even if it's just a little bit, about all the different ways that we as individuals impact the earth. When I started this year-long project, there were 7 years left until 2030, and now there are only 6 years left. The significance of the year 2030 is that global greenhouse gas emissions need to be reduced by 45% in order to avoid severe and devastating impacts to the Earth. If we fail, we'll begin to experience more extreme consequences and disasters, such as rising sea levels, flooding, ice caps and glaciers melting, extreme heat waves, the loss of habitats and environments for animals, including humans, and overall human health is going to be affected negatively. We can all start walking towards a better future, but it starts with us. The Earth is a beautiful place, so let's take care of it the way it has for all of us.